Hey, what's up? This is the Giorno Giovanna Super Action statue, the part 5 pink version, and this figure is just amazing. Real quick, let me just stick him off to the side so I can show you guys the box real quick. You got Jojos Bizarre Adventure right there, Giorno, Giovanna, Super Action statue. Shows you some nice poses that you can get him in right there, just a standard one, and then you have some really great ones here on the back. Shows off all the accessories. Really nice. And yeah, I pretty much just spoiled this entire review right off the bat. This figure is absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of my favorite Super Action statues I've bought so far. Big fan of the character. He is wonderful. Love his design. Love his whole vibe. Love his theme, of course. One of the greatest theme songs I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, they just did an immaculate job on this thing. The head sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. I will say that apparently this figure has been released many times, and some of the previous ones, the head sculpt didn't look as good. So if you get this one, try to make sure you get one of the recent re-releases so you can get this beautiful head sculpt, because the likeness to Giorno is just perfect here. Of course, you got his little triple donut hole hair right there, and you have his ponytail in the back right there. And just the sculpting of the hair is so amazing. The fact that they got like the strands to just like blow in the wind all carefully, like the pink lipstick right there looking absolutely fantastic, the yellow eyes. I think he even got his earrings right there, little red spots on his ears, wonderful. And then you go down to his suit right here, and while this isn't 100% accurate to the anime, I think the pink was like a little bit darker, and these ladybug brooches and the wings on his neck right there were blue in the anime, and I think his shoes were also blue, but I'm okay with this. These figures are always modeled after the manga more so than the anime, so that's just kind of what you have to deal with if you want these, and I think it's completely worth it. This figure's totally worth a few inaccuracies to the anime, and it's still accurate to the original version of the character, so I really don't feel like it's a big deal, even if you don't read the manga. But yeah, the ladybug brooches look absolutely phenomenal as well. The little heart zipper right there. Of course, you got his little boob window right there. Awesome. You have his other little ladybug right there. I love these hands. We'll talk about these in a bit here, but these are one of my favorite accessories this figure comes with. Actually, probably my favorite accessories this figure comes with. This beautiful little outline right here. And of course, you have his little checkerboard pattern right there on his butt. Absolutely love that. These figures are so robust too. Like look how gorgeous these knee bends are. Like you can just see how well those move, how smooth and fluid that is. Absolutely phenomenal. The matte finish on the suit as well is just amazing. And then you get down to his feet right there, another little ladybug thing right there, and the beautiful shoes, the gold zipper, the purple on the bottom. It's just phenomenal, honestly. I do have one complaint with this figure, and that is just on my personal copy. One of his legs is a little bit longer than the other, and it's pretty damn irritating. Like you can see, one of them is just longer, and it just makes standing him up a little bit harder, but it's not a huge deal. And I think the figure more than makes up for it. Talking about the articulation, he's got a gorgeous ball joint right here at the head, so you can look around, look up and down. You got another ball joint at the base of the neck, which is just wonderful. And then you move down here, and this is absolutely insane. You've got like 3 joints in here. You've got a ball joint right here in the torso. There's another ball joint right here at the waist right here. Right there. And then I think there's also a swivel in the waist right here as well. Oh no, that's just that part. Okay. So it just kind of, yeah, so it's only 2 joints actually. So you have that ball joint in the waist right there, allowing you to get some beautiful crunch, some side to side, and that gorgeous waist swivel right there. So damn amazing. And then for the elbows, this guy just gets the absolute full package right here. You've got pretty much full bend right there, a little bit less, but you can get him in any pose you can pretty much think of. And I already showed this, but pretty much full double joint bend right here at the knees, and he has a gorgeous ankle pivot as well, beautiful toe bend, just an absolutely phenomenally done figure, like probably one of the best Super Action statues I've picked up so far. They clearly had a big fondness for Giorno when they made this figure, man. Just, absolutely phenomenal. For comparison, let's bring in his dear old dad. Oh, look at him, reunited, and it feels so good. How was school today, son? Well, it was pretty good, but a student pushed me, so I sent him into a reality where he died endlessly. That's my boy. Oh, they look so great together. Wow, man, love these figures so much. Look at that. So you can see Dio is quite a bit taller than him, but I think that's pretty accurate. And yeah, they just look really freaking great together. Like father, like son. And here he also is with the Bossu looking absolutely awesome. Oh man, these two look so damn good together. So you can recreate some awesome fights between Diavolo and Giorno. They look so good together. For some reason, Diavolo has a bit of a hard time standing up, but not too big a deal. It's still a wonderful, wonderful figure. And if you're interested in knowing more about him, you can check out my review on my channel. But yeah, they look great together, and you can see he is quite a bit taller, and I even have him bent down a little bit. So if you have him standing straight up, yeah, he's quite tall. They look really, really good together, though. Like, yeah, they just do an immaculate job on these figures, man. Especially the villains and the Jojos. I definitely think they do the best on them. And speaking of the Jojos, here he is with Jotaro and Josuke right here. So you can see how my Joestar lineage, my figure version of the Joestar lineage is coming along very, very nicely. Jolene is next. Getting into the accessories, they are absolutely fantastic. Of course, you get the base, as usual, has the other pieces as well. But, you know it. You probably, if you've seen literally any review of these figures, you know about it. Next up, we get an alternate Screaming Head sculpt. And I actually think this is probably the best Screaming Head sculpt Medicos has done, that I've seen at least, because it's really, really nice, actually. Like, this doesn't actually look bored or anything. It kind of is just, you can just kind of see the anger in it, and it looks really, really good. Yeah, it's really nice. You definitely got to get Gold Experience to go with him, though, which I'll definitely get him eventually. I love Golden Experience. One of my favorite stands, actually. So, yeah, that looks really, really, really good. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful head sculpt right there. And again, just like always with these super action statues, with the exception of Jotaro, switching the head sculpts is just absolutely painless. It takes, like, no effort whatsoever. So easy, so fluid. I love it. So getting into the hands now. These hands I have on him right now, these are actually not the hands that are put on him in the packaging. Normally he actually, because you can see these are kind of like flatter. These are the standard fists that he has in the packaging right here. And just like always, switching the hands on these figures is so easy. So you can see the difference right here between these two fists. This one's really flat, and this one's like a normal fist. The reason why you get these kind of fists is so that you can recreate his iconic Giorno pose, you know, where he grabs this, and then you take the other one just like that, and you just move that right there. And the articulation of the arms makes it so easy to achieve this pose. And it's just amazing, honestly. This is such an amazing fucking figure. I know I've said that like 4 times, but really, man, I just love everything about this one, man. Honestly, the only super action statue I can think of that even rivals this figure is Kira. I think Kira and Giorno are the 2 best super action statues that I have collected so far. These are definitely the cream of the crop right now. Anyway, getting back to the hands, you get some relaxed hands as well, which is really nice. You guys know how much I love my relaxed hands. You get this hand right here, which I'll go ahead and throw on him because we're going to need to do that just to show off this accessory. So just pop that on. I love how easy it is to swap the pieces on these figures. I cannot say that loud enough. And then you also get one more. You get this one as well, more of a wide gripping hand. Now this one right here is for this accessory, the teacup. But if you've seen Jojo, then you know that that's not exactly tea. I won't say what it is, but if you know, you know. But you could just pretend it's tea if you want to have him with his little teacup and you want to have him all sophisticated like. And this is actually a really, really cool little pose. I've actually had done this a little bit. I mean, again, if you're a JoJo fan and you've seen the show, this is obviously very, very odd because you know what's actually in that cup. But you know, if you're not the wiser, you could just pretend like it's actually tea, and Giorno could be having a nice spot of tea. And then to go with this, you do also get, you can stick on one of these, you can stick on the relaxed hand for this side right here, and you get a little saucer to go with the tea right there. So you can stick that in the hand, although it doesn't really like slip in there. You just kind of have to like rest it in there, just like that. And then you can have him with the tea and the saucer right there. So that's actually pretty cool. I do like that. Or you could, there's a black version as well. You can get him in the black suit as well, which again, if you know, you know. That would be a cool thing to have with this as well. I think that would look really, really cool. I will also say on that note, there's also a blue version of him, and it actually comes with the Haruno head sculpt before his hair turns gold, which I actually think is pretty cool. And at some point, once I've collected most of the super action statues that I want, I actually might go grab the blue version of this just to get that Haruno head sculpt, because I think that's a cool accessory. And then I'm gonna pop on this other one right here. This gripping hand right here, I'm gonna pop this on real quick, because this will let me show off the final accessory, which is Pulpo's lighter right here. Yes, you do get Pulpo's lighter, which is really, really, really cool. And of course, if you've seen Jojo, you know the significance of this item. It was his, this was his initiation to get into the Passion gang with Bruno and all the others. He had to make this lighter stay lit for 24 hours straight. And there was a lot more to it than that, but I'm sure if you've seen Jojo, then you know exactly what it is. And if you haven't seen Jojo, I would rather not spoil the rest of the plot for you. So, very cool accessory right here, and it's really cool that you can get him. His articulation is so amazing that it's really easy to get him in like a really nice, like, covering the flame pose right there. Oh my god, this figure is so amazing. Every single time I touch this figure, it just radiates the quality through my fingers, man. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then there's one last accessory as well, the loaf of bread right here, which I feel like they didn't have to include this, but it's kind of fun, and this is also to recreate when he takes the lighter and he just sticks it in the bread right there. So you have the hole right there, and you can stick the lighter in the bread, and you can even take it a step further and put it on the plate if you wanted to. That's not how it goes in the show, but I don't know. I think this is a really goofy accessory. How many breads have you eaten in your life? But it's still kind of fun, I guess. I mean, it's better than not getting it at all, I suppose. And I don't feel like they could, and I don't think there's anything else they could have included. There's one more as well. There's also this ladybug brooch right here, which would be fun to use with Trish, if you got Trish. Or Bruno, definitely. So yeah, this is pretty cool. This is just like basically these ladybug brooches are something that really assists Giorno with his powers, his golden experience powers. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you get that as well. And again, this would be really useful if you got like Trish or Mr. to whatever to go with him. At the moment, I'm focusing on Jojos and the villains, and then I'll focus on Jobros after I've collected all of them. And I already said that Jolene is the next one I'll be going for. But yeah, that is all the accessories with him. So getting into my final thoughts on the Super Action Statue Giorno Giovanna, this is an absolutely fucking phenomenal figure. And I would go as far to say that this is probably the absolute best start to getting into Super Action Statues. If you want to get into Super Action Statues, I recommend going with Giorno here. This figure is just so top-notch in every single way. The articulation is phenomenal. The accessories are very plentiful and very great. The sculpt is phenomenal. He's so damn fun to play with, so fun to get him in all these poses. There's actually a stop motion animation on YouTube of someone recreating like an old an anime dance, and it's so well done. He can achieve like any pose you can think of because his articulation is just so amazing. Like his just movement in his arms is just so fluid. It's so easy to get him in pretty much any pose you can think of. And even though the accessories are kind of weird, like you'd never probably display him with like Pulpo's lighter or the loaf of bread or the tea or anything like that, especially if you actually know what the tea is. Even though you would never use them, they're still fun to play around with because the amazing thing about Super Action Statues is just how painless they are to mess with. I've messed with a lot of action figure lines in my day, like Figmas and SH Figuarts, and they're actually kind of a pain in the ass to like change around. Like sometimes their hair's like really spiky, so it's hard to change their head, or it's hard to pop their hands off, and their hands like to have malfunction. Sometimes the little pegs like to split and all that. These figures, I just absolutely adore how easy it is to change all of the accessories on these figures. They're just really painless and wonderful, and I cannot stress enough how much I love this line. So there you have it. That is my review of the Super Action Statue Giorno Giovanna. I personally believe that this figure deserves no less than an S+. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you love JoJo Super Action Statues, definitely go down and hit that subscribe button. The next one I will be reviewing will be, well, I won't spoil exactly who it is, but I will say that it's not going to be Jolene. I do have another one of these on the way, but then after the next one I review will be Jolene, who is actually my favorite JoJo, so I'm very, very excited to get her. And then after her, I'm going to go for Johnny, because part 7 is fire. I love it so far. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Also, definitely, please leave a like on the video. I would very much appreciate that as well. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.